Hello everyone, and welcome back to Turkish Spotlight Secrets. Tonight we're following a thread that began as a whisper between takes and swelled into a storm, the claim that Yağmur Yüksel turned to Barış Baktas during a quiet break on the Kentsesakları set and, with all the courage the moment required, said two words that rearrange lives: marry me. Since that first account surfaced, every timeline has been humming. Some say they saw the look that followed. Some insist there was stunned silence. Others swear they heard laughter meant to turn a confession into a joke that wouldn't break a working day. There is no official statement from either side. There is, however, a 1,000-piece puzzle that fans have been trying to assemble without the picture on the box. Let's slow down the reel and rebuild the day from the beginning, calmly, fairly, and with respect for the people at the center of it. The atmosphere on the Kentsesakları set has long been defined by discipline, early call times, tight turnarounds, and a cast that understands the difference between chemistry and chaos. By all accounts, Yağmur and Barış carry their scenes with the timing of partners who listen as closely as they speak. That listening is what fans mistake for fate, it's also what colleagues recognize as craft. Still, every production accumulates its own folklore, stories traded over tea waiting for a lighting reset, a gesture that becomes shorthand, a glance that outlives the script. In that environment, even a routine conversation can acquire mythic proportion once it escapes the set. On the day in question, the schedule was packed. 2 interiors and 1 exterior, the kind of pacing that leaves little room for missteps. Between setups, the crew says the main cast drifted into the corridor where a draft of cool air runs like a relief valve. It's where actors reset their shoulders, fix a cuff, or fall into the kind of small talk that stitches long days together. According to the first version of the rumor, this is where Yağmur asked Barış to step aside for a minute, nothing dramatic, just the request of one colleague to another. The corridor was busy, but not loud. A boom stand creaked somewhere behind them. Someone cracked open a bottle of water. From there, the accounts diverge. One tells it like a film, Yağmur, steady and unblinking, saying what hearts rarely dare to say in fluorescent light. Marry me. Barış, caught between breath and answer, learning for the first time that the chemistry viewers felt might be trying to walk off the page. Another account insists the words were gentler and framed with context, more like, if this were a different world, would we say I do? That tiny difference turns a proposal into a hypothetical, a question into a poem. A third version says it was a joke pitched to lighten a heavy morning, the kind of hyperbole actors sometimes toss when they've nailed a difficult scene. We work so well together, we should just get married to the role. Like most controversies, this one lives in the space between punctuation marks. What we do know is what followed, a shift in temperature. Extras who had been joking in the hallway quieted. A makeup artist later said the air felt charged, as if a storm had rolled in on an otherwise sunny day. Continuity notes from the next scene were unusually precise, an indication, perhaps, that the supervising team was trying to anchor the day to facts, not feelings. None of that proves a proposal. It proves that something, however small, nudged the production out of autopilot. When whispers made their way off set, they did what whispers always do, they multiplied. The first wave of reactions was pure romance. Edited clips of the couple's most delicate scenes resurfaced, braided with captions about courage and timing. Fans who had been crafting this love story in their heads for months found in the rumor a missing chapter. The second wave was protective, voices reminding the internet that actors deserve a workplace free from gawking, that a confession, if there was one, doesn't belong to us just because we love the characters. The third wave was skeptical. Skeptics asked the obvious. In an industry that knows how quickly rumors breed, why would anyone choose a corridor full of colleagues to voice a life-altering question? It's a fair point, and it belongs in the balance. There is also the matter of on-set etiquette, a set of unwritten rules everyone learns by osmosis. A lead who pulls another lead into a private topic minutes before a difficult scene risks shuffling the deck of concentration. That doesn't make it impossible, it makes it unlikely. And yet, love, if love is what we're talking about, rarely checks the call sheet before it speaks. We have all said the wrong thing at the right time, or the right thing at the wrong time, and then watched the room tilt. From a media perspective, this story is catnip, recognizable names, a working romance, the high stakes of a four-word sentence. But speculation devours nuance. Consider the pressures at play. Barış carries the public image of a grounded lead, steady in interviews, careful in what he confirms. Yağmur, young and ascending, has fine-tuned a profile built on craft first, gossip never. Either of them stepping into, or away from, this rumor will define headlines for weeks, which is likely why neither has stepped at all. Silence, in this context, is not admission or denial, it's a professional boundary. Meanwhile, the production must move. Directors do not shoot around a rumor, they shoot around light. The week after the story broke, the show's dailies were clean. That alone tells a truth too boring for the internet. Whatever happened in the corridor, the work went on. That is not how fairy tales behave. It is how adults behave. Let's also name the parasocial gravity tugging at this tale. When two actors sell a love story so convincingly that it binds a fandom across languages, we begin to read their public movements like chapters in a serialized novel. A laugh in a blooper reel becomes evidence. A shared playlist becomes a confession. In that climate, an unverified hallway moment can swell into destiny. It isn't malice, it's longing. But longing can make us careless. It can turn people into proxies for stories we want to be true. What, then, would responsible hope look like? It might sound like this: if Yağmur did speak from the heart, that bravery deserves gentleness while she finds her footing on the other side. If she didn't, then a rumor turned a woman's professionalism into a canvas for our projections. If Barış was blindsided, then so be it, confusion is not a crime, and neither is silence. If he wasn't, if the exchange was a decades-old private shorthand that leaked into the public, then the lesson is even simpler: the most important conversations never belonged to us. There is a version of this story that ends with a press release. There is another that ends with nothing at all, no statement, no denial, just the soft erosion of attention as the news cycle moves on. The third, and perhaps kindest, ending is the one that yields to whatever the principals choose. If they are friends, let that friendship remain unharassed by our need for an ending. If they are something more, they will tell us when the telling serves them rather than us. Until then, we can talk about what is ours, the work. Watch the scenes that sparked this wave and admire the restraint that keeps them alive. Notice how Yağmur plays silence as if it were dialogue. Notice how Barış lets a look take the space of a line. Those are choices that take years to master. They are also the clearest proof that what you love in them is not rumor, it's skill. That skill does not evaporate because two words were allegedly spoken in a corridor. In fact, it may be the very reason those two words matter so much to you. A final note about kindness, because it's the only currency that holds its value in a story like this. If you post, post softly. If you share, share without assigning motives. If you speculate, let your sentences end with question marks rather than periods. The people on your screen are not puzzles to be solved. They are artists who owe you their best scenes, not their most vulnerable moments. Thank you for spending the evening here, where we try to make space for complexity in a culture that often sells certainty. If you want more conversations that honor the craft while refusing to devour the people who make it, stay with us. We'll keep following the work. If there's ever anything more to say, you'll hear it from the names in the headline, not the ones trying to guess at it. And to Yağmur Yüksel and Barış Baktas, wherever this finds you, in a makeup chair, in a car back from set, finally home after a long day. Here's the only thing the public has the right to say with confidence: thank you for the scenes. The rest belongs to you.